Boycott Everything Podcast, episode number 2. Get ready to pick up your D20s, but first, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel that you're currently watching this video on. Also follow us on Twitter at Boycott Podcast. And you can also find us on RedTube. Why RedTube? I don't know, that's just something that came up.
This is episode 2. We're going to call it the D&D episode. I have friends and family that play a lot of D&D, and I have questions and concerns, and I just wanted to ask questions, and I wanted to bring my friends on. So fuck you if you don't like it. How about them goddamn apples? First up is David.
Hello. I'm David. Also known as Xarius. I run the Roll Society, a group of role players and Dungeons and Dragons people that play Dungeons and Dragons and roll dice and get very emotionally attached to their character.
And Mr. Ian.
Oh, he said it the right way. God damn you. Ian to people who know me, Ian to everybody else, Aegon to the internet. Oh, hello everybody. I am also one of the major parts of Roll Society, and we're going to talk about some awesome D&D stuff.
Anything that either one of you want to promote tonight?
Well, yes, I would like to promote the Roll Society at twitch.tv/roll, ROLE, Society. That is where we stream all of our D&D games and bring our beautiful community together. Currently 5 days a week.
And those days are?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we should be having new things coming on Mondays and Thursdays soon. And just in case any dungeon masters are out there and want a community that, is just itching for more D&D content, we are looking for people in UK time zones and other time zones that is not like Eastern US time to run campaigns. We're also looking for players for upcoming campaigns. So you should definitely join our Discord.
That and your Twitter link will be down in the diggly-doo below.
Yeah,
Aegon?
the diggly-boo.
Doobly-doo?
Doobly-doo. There you go.
Doobly-doo.
Aegon, what do you got to promote?
What do I got to promote? Well, as we work heavily with World Anvil, they are helping support an awesome new project by Dungeon Fog folks called Project Deios, Kickstarter. It is almost over, but the more money, the better. More money at this point means more and more assets for all the map building. It's an all-in-one map builder to create world, city, battle, and local maps. It will have a local client as well. They hit that goal, so you don't have to do it all on the web. You will have a downloadable client that you can build maps with. And they have about 70 hours at this point to go, so should I hit them up, get them over that 350,000 mark that they're close to, so we can get even more assets for that awesome project.
Yeah.
Cool. So, gentlemen, I know that we hang out a lot away from the internet and doing stuff together, D&D, talking, playing games. So I just want to let you know that this is more lot us after dark. If you want to say something a certain way, as long as it's not racist or homophobic or sexist or, the bigot stuff, y'all say what you want, how you want it, end of story.
Yeah, the RedTube thing should have been there.
Yeah. I mean, Pornhub really let us down last week by not letting us use the title for Ghostbusters Nerds Fucks Virgins on the internet. It was just bad.
Yeah, and we talked to RedTube already about using D&D. They're not 100% sure. They got read by their legal department. But if they don't let us do that, we're going to have to find another location.
So basically, I should talk a lot about dice and anal.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
Because
podcast.
Because I've played D&D with you, I know you roll out of your ass all the time, so it makes complete sense. First question for both of you. Aegon, I'll start with you. What is your favorite moment of your entire life of playing D&D? Be it online, be it in real life, doesn't matter.
Oh, God, my favorite moment of playing D. There's been a lot of great moments. But I have to say some of the best moments I've had recently was my current campaign that I run a Roll Society at Chaos Reigns. Everything that went down with David's first character with Christian, the setup, the emotion, the drama, just everything flowed better than any other kind of event I had tried to set up. That just worked perfectly.
I'm gonna have to agree with Aegon on that because we worked really hard together. I played the character Christian, a bard with a custom college that we created for him. I was super excited to play that character, but a few episodes in, with the dark background and the personality traits I had given him and actions that he had made, it became fairly obvious early in the campaign that he needed to die, or the campaign was going to go to complete and utter fucking hell. And because he was that fucking chaotic, and just working with Aegon and my character kind of dropping hints and doing things in front of the other characters that wouldn't make sense until later was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And it definitely like gave me that feeling, okay, we told an amazing fucking story and no one was the wiser to it.
We threw so much foreshadowing and little clues, things here and there, and none of the players caught on, but it was an amazing drama event when it finally unfolded.
It was. So
cool.
For people that don't know, the whole thing is my bard actually got the person that raised him as her little brother to kill him in the end so that he can redeem himself plus give her revenge. It's an amazing fucking, like, Shakespeare could not have done better.
Yeah, it was a very Shakespearean story.
All right, so first topic, fellas. D&D is very impactful, especially more and more as you can play more and more online. What do you guys think the impact it is making on society, not just in the gaming market, because that's what it's being portrayed as a gaming thing online, but as a whole? What's the impact, and how do you think it's being handled by the people that is making the product itself?
Well, I think as far on the Wizard of the Coast end of things, they are a company and they do produce a product. So they kind of have to be careful about, balancing and making sure things don't conflict. So, as far as the rule sets and things like that go, I think they do. I think they do a pretty damn good job. I mean, if they didn't, people wouldn't want to play it. But as far as the impact it's having, I think there's pros and negatives to it. Pros being D&D is something that allows people to kind of step out of their comfort zone, step into a new world. Kind of like, think of it maybe as kind of like an MMO, but in your mind. It allows you to be someone else. It allows you to have these great adventures and develop relationships with other characters and peoples and non-playing characters, play a game with your friends or with strangers that may become new friends. But on the downside of that, and I will say it is a pro for shows like Critical Role, because it has brought Dungeons and Dragons to the mainstream. And I have nothing but love for Matthew Mercer and Ashley and O'Brien and all of those people that work so hard to bring Dungeons and Dragons, one night a week, and an amazing show. But the downside of that is these are all voice actors. These are professionals, and their role playing through their characters, and they have a lot of experience kind of stepping out of who they are and being somebody else. And I think to new people that are wanting to get into D&D and they found it through Critical Role or likewise shows, that's what they expect D&D to always be like. It's just everyone always kind of like in character all the time, and that level of role playing. But it takes a long time to get to that level. And which you can see in, you know, some of the shows we've done. For instance, your son, Sean Neitherwing, when he first started playing, super quiet. Didn't really do much except for take part in combat. But as he has adapted to other people role playing around him, he's sort of stepping outside of his shell and role playing his character more and more. And so I think the biggest con to the explosion of D&D is people go in it with preconceptions of what every game's going to be like. And every dungeon master and every player is different. So you're not going to emulate or get this exact same feel from Critical Role in your D&D campaign. And that's okay. People just need to be okay with that. Aegon?
Yeah, along those same lines. Yeah, I mean, what's happened with D&D and role playing in general is the shows like Critical Role, the other shows that Geek and Century puts on for games like Vampire the Masquerade and some other popular RPGs out there, has really brought gaming, tabletop gaming, to the mainstream. It started to blend that geek culture with, you know, mainstream culture and brought a lot of people to it. And yes, along with the con of that, the public face sees these amazingly produced shows that puts on expectations which, you know, aren't going to be there in a normal game. And that's things people have to learn when they get into the hobby. But 5th edition itself has made, it's the simplest version of D&D made at this point. So it's easy to get into. People are able to pick it up and learn it. It's amazing the people that have found gaming that you never expected to play in gaming are huge D&Ders. I mean, some of friends I never expected to play, you know, popular people like, you know, I was surprised. Like, I found out Vin Diesel was a huge D&D nerd. People like that.
Called Steve Austin.
Yeah, Steve Austin, all of them. So it's really those people those stars that you know you never expected to play come out now proudly admitting they play D&D. It's no longer this hidden closet in the hobby thing anymore.
Yeah, and people like Stephen Colbert and Anderson Cooper. I don't know if anybody ever watches The Tonight Show, but you should go look up on YouTube about them talking about Dungeons and Dragons, and just you really don't realize how ingrained in some people in culture Dungeons and Dragons going back 20, 30 years has had an impact on people and their lives.
Oh yeah.
Well, my side, and I want to further the question along because I think that y'all covered the first part. The part that I'm really interested in, I've seen a dramatic change in the context of how people are taking. Like, would y'all like to see more minorities be DMs?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, we would love that.
Because like seeing Ember Moon get so stoked about this stuff has made me appreciate it more. Because like when I was growing up, as you guys know, I grew up in a pretty bad neighborhood, and D&D was off limits. And I just wanted to know that is there going to be a huge switch that helps minorities get more involved and change because the more people involved, the more the context of the thing we're discussing changes.
I mean, there's already a huge minority game masters out there. To just look at Geek and Sundry like that. So many people on that channel are minorities, and they are game masters, they're game creators, they are even RPG developers.
Sorry, and I also think, you know, D&D is a very inclusive game. It is for everybody, whether you're black, white, male, female, transgender, gay, straight, If you're a freaking, hamster with a high intelligence and you're able to click a mouse, you can play Dungeons and Dragons.
And Wizards has put out a base starter set.
Yes, the
where
SRD.
you can basically download the base rules for free and start playing.
Yeah, so
you just need to pick up some dice, you get the base rolls, and you can start playing a game. So anybody can learn to start off the very basics of the game for no cost whatsoever, except maybe some cheap dice. Spend $5 on some dice,
and not even that.
Yeah.
Most people have phones, and
Yeah,
there are
or
very simple apps on phones that you can use to roll dice for you.
Yeah.
So the base game itself is free for everybody. So the only thing stopping people from playing Dungeons and Dragons really is themselves. The resources are out there, and you only need two people to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, okay. Well, I guess I'll push it to the next topic instead of asking a mid question, because I think it fits better. What can the people that want to see a true growth in D&D do to make D&D more welcoming and less frightening? Wooley, for example, for anybody that doesn't know, Wooley's a piece of shit.
True.
He's my favorite troll, but he's still a troll nonetheless. And he's been invited to do D&D with these two and me when I was playing, and Sean and everybody, probably a half dozen times. And the reasoning is all over the place. I think it just has to deal with, he's not from that background. How do we make it more entertaining and more interesting for people like Wooley that we know would be good at it if he just gave it a try?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question there, because every person is different. What would work for Wooley may not work for somebody else.
Yeah. What's going to inspire somebody to get into this hobby and play it? It's really on that person. I mean, all we can do is show you what's to offer. And I mean, they might be a really shy person. It might take them a time to get into the hobby. Like Sean, who was very much in the background and quiet when we first managed to talk him into playing. And now he's bursting out of his shell and being incredible in the games he's in now. It's to be very different for every person that wants to get into the hobby.
But as content creators for Dungeons and Dragons, I just think it's important to, let people know, hey, yeah, we're having fun and you're watching and it looks like fun. You want to take part, you just have to speak up. And, what are you interested in? Are you interested in sci-fi? There are sci-fi, there's Star Trek roles for D&D 5e. Do you like Lord of the Rings? There's Lord of the Rings settings. There's Star Wars. I'm thinking about, after, Runa's over with, doing Spelljammer. And there's just so many options out there. So if you have an interest, there's probably a D&D version for you.
I mean, if it's not D&D, like there are other systems out there that are just as simple. I mean, how the original Star Wars system was just throwing a bunch of D6s, and
Yep.
So it all depends on what you want to play. It's if you're interested in the hobby but you don't know what you want to do, search the web, look at different games that are out there, see what might interest you, look up basic rules. You can usually find basic rules for most of the games out there.
Talk to other people, watch other people play, and and see if you can get engrossed in the story. Because here's my number one thing about Dungeons and Dragons that appealed to me. I like reading. I like reading a lot of fantasy and science fiction books, and when I read, I tend to get caught up in the stories and the whole scenes that I'm reading play out in my brain. Dungeons and Dragons is like reading a book, except I'm actually making decisions that happen. I'm actually the character. Instead of reading about the character, I am that character. I am the hero or the villain or the person on the epic quest for, the dragon egg, whatever. And that's what appeals to it for me.
I mean, if you want to try and get involved, there's many ways to do it. If you want to just try and dip your feet in the water, if you happen to be lucky enough to have a local gaming store within reach for you, even local colleges usually have some kind of D&D group or role-playing group that you can try and get involved with, and they will be glad to try and work you in and try and bring you in slowly and teach you about the hobby and get you acclimated to what we do and how the fun that we have. because once you actually get involved and start doing, and especially if you happen to get a good GM and good friends to play with, or make good friends out of hanging out with them, it can be incredibly fun, and you'll just suddenly start having a great time, and you'll love the hobby.
And here's another thing. It's all about communication and socializing and asking questions. It's like if I ask somebody, "Hey, why don't you play D&D?" and they can't give me an answer, or I just don't want to me, that just sounds like a cop-out. Because they're not giving you any reason as to why they would not want to play, and they're not even posing an interest into, well, okay, well, I'm going to tell them my concern, and let's see what they have to say about that. Just, oh, nope, I don't want to play. It's not for me. Why isn't it for you? What about it turns you off from it?
Some people may not be interested in the hobby. You may get into it and just find it's not something for you. It happens. But if you really want to find out if it's something for you or not, you have to try and get involved.
Absolutely. So I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to the person. Either somebody wants to try or they don't.
Well, I don't know if I fully agree with that, because I didn't want to try for a long time. Wooley was used as a joke example, but it's a good example now. Like, I was the same as Wooley was, and neither one of you can deny that. When y'all first started talking about it, and y'all would talk about it before Roll Society, I was just like, what? Fuck that nerdy shit. Man, fuck that. That doesn't even sound like something it was.
Yeah, and but you made the decision to come in eventually and try it out.
Because I started asking questions. I do agree with that. But the thing is not everybody is forward like that. And there's people that I know that watches y'all's channel, and it's just like, why are you not getting involved? You sit here and watch all the time. Why are you not getting involved? Well, it's this person or it's that person. Okay, have you told them that? That's the thing that I think sometimes the outside looking in really sucks. Really, really sucks.
I mean, it comes to a point like you use Wooley as an example. I'm going to use him too. It comes to a point when you try to get people involved and you try and find out, what their prohibitions to playing and stuff is. And when you never get kind of like a real answer, you just get shut down every time. At some point, you just stop trying. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Fair play. Well, I have a question, and rather silly, but I think there's a type of D&D that is for somebody that plays games like Wooley, myself, Sean.
I mean,
what's that one role-playing game that they made a video game about? Shadowrun.
Yeah.
Shadowrun runs a lot like the other one, right?
No, Shadowrun is totally different.
Yeah.
Shadowrun is a kind of a heavy mathematics system, but it is a fun game.
I personally have not played Shadowrun, but I have looked over the rule set and everything.
I used to GM. I GM'd Shadowrun for about 5 years back in early college years. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's a lot of math. It's a lot of numbers. Way more than D&D. But I mean, if you're into something cyberpunky like that, I mean, there's Shadowrun, there's Cyberpunk as well. And if you're looking for minority games, there's Cyberpunk.
Absolutely.
One of the oldest RPGs, created by a minority. Oldest and probably one of the most popular when it comes to futuristic RPGs.
Yeah, I agree. And so, there's, and when it comes to D&D, there's different types of games. There's the kind that we tend to play on Roll Society, which is more role play and combat is secondary. But there are hack and slash, murder hobo games or you just go in and your point is to run dungeons, kill everything, loot everything, and just become, acquire as much as possible, just destroying everything.
Well, I guess
Those
that's a
games
good question.
exist.
Guess that's a good question
D&D.
for you, Wooly, to get you involved. Would be something you maybe would be interested in doing, like a night where we just all get together and murder a bunch of people in our head?
I mean, one shots are always on the table. Me personally, I wouldn't be good at running that type of game because, like I said, my mind works more toward the storytelling side of things. So even if I was playing in a one shot, I would still be doing my role playing during the hack and slash and all of that. I could still have fun doing that. For a one shot purpose, which for people that don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, a one shot usually is an adventure that lasts, one day. That's why it's called a one shot. You go in, you play for several hours, you complete your objective, and it's done. Sometimes it may last 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 sessions, depending on the size of it. But the general understanding of it is, once you start and when it ends there. Once you reach the end and the final goal, that is the end of the game. So,
well, then, Wooly, I guess my question is on to you then.
I don't know.
So-
I mean, I have to think about it.
okay. Yeah, do think about it. Think about what about, playing D&D really don't like the idea of. And if you can't come up with anything,
Why not give it a chance?
Exactly.
Because that's what it boiled down to me, Wooly. I couldn't come up with a good reason why not to try it, so I tried it, and I ended up liking it, and then started disliking it for other reasons outside of people's control. But at the same time, I still really enjoyed it when I was able to do what I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Next question is for both of you. If you could play a campaign with any 5 people in the entire world that you do not currently play the game with, who would they be and why?
Oh God.
Matthew Mercer is a dungeon master because he is a master fucking storyteller and plot spinner. Morgan Freeman, because I would love to sit there and just listen to his voice as he role plays. Third, this is a hard one. Stephen Colbert as a bard. That would be epically amazing. I love Stephen Colbert. And Barack and Michelle Obama, because why the fuck not? I want to play Dungeons and Dragons with the former president and the first lady. I think that would be amazing, and I think they and I think they would get into it more than what people would think they would. 100%.
God, who would I play? Well, just because I loved watching him last time, I definitely want to play with Vin Diesel. Matt Mercer on either side of the table, I would love to play with.
Yes.
Xavier Woods. Let's see, who else would I want to play D&D with? God, if I could, I would love to sit down and fucking play with Patrick Rothfuss. And either or both of the Penny Arcade guys, Greg or Jerry, or both. That's who I want to play D&D with.
I think I'd want to sit down and play it with Felicia Day.
Which day is a good choice.
Yeah.
Xavier Woods, for fucking sure. For fucking sure. Stephen King. The Arthur, not the I had sex with my daughter and that's legal thing.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I would want him as a dungeon master in a horror campaign. That would be amazing.
Okay. Him running Cthulhu.
Yes.
Probably Bray Wyatt. Just because, just because I think that would be fucked up. And Donald Trump.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Why?
Definitely Donald Trump. Well, if you think about it, it's legally the only way I could kill him.
I'm gonna build a giant dice tower, and it will roll the bestliest dice ever.
God, now we're going to get visits from the goddamn Secret Service.
And
bigliest dice.
But think about it, guys. The whole point of playing D&D is lying really good
Well, that's
against who you are as a person.
that's any storytelling.
Well, who's better at lying than him?
This is very true. I am the bigliest, truthliest liar. But yeah, absolutely. That would be an interesting fucking game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because everybody at the table would hate one of the players immediately. Oh wait, like every other D&D campaign I've ever been part of. Damn it. All right, last question. And this one's my favorite I came up with for you two. You have 30 seconds to come up with the most outlandish character you've ever thought of.
All right.
30 seconds.
So the minimum, I need to know race and class and just like a 2-minute, 3-minute excerpt of something you make up right now on the top of your head for backstory for them.
Dude.
And to make it fair, Aegon, David will go first.
All right. When did my 30 seconds start?
He's doing it now.
Oh.
Well, you got to come up with another song. That's trademark. Don't do that. That's trademark too. Shit.
YouTube content ID. Woo!
So basically, I want to see your imagination in my head,
All right.
and I'm burning the 30 seconds by talking.
Imagination.
I'm ready.
Oh,
Go.
wait, that's gonna take shit.
All right. So my character's name would be Weenley, and he would be a fungus creature from the Underdark that at some point or another during some epic battle, a vampire actually was slayed over his patch of fungus, and the blood seeped into him. So he is actually a blood-fiending fungus from the Underdark. And I don't know whether or not anybody knows anything about the fungal creatures in the Underdark, but they kind of like communicate with each other through spores, and their whole meaning for existence is to find this like higher state of enlightenment. So he would actually be trying to go out among the lands and through drinking the blood and murdering people and manipulating people with his new vampiric fungus powers and his vampiric fungi spores, actually be trying to gather information to take back and meld in with the rest of his clan to try and raise them to this new level of enlightenment and transcend this plane.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? That was brilliant. Aegon, go.
Oh, okay. I think mine would be a half Goliath, half halfling, who's a barbarian bard, whose main weapon is a steel banjo, who basically goes around beating up people and then singing of their demise, while trying to earn the championship of every gladiator arena he comes around at, as well as entertaining everyone in the bar afterwards.
Wait. You want Elias in the game?
Yes, Aegon wants to be Elias.
Aegon wants people to walk with Elias really bad. And just so y'all know, I came up with one, and this is going to be a shout out to episode 1, which is probably something I'm going to do in every episode.
Oh no.
Mine is going to be named Janine Tully, and it's going to be a slime monster from the underground, and and a group of human beings are going to chase me around with squiggly photon packs trying to kill me at all times.
Okay. So I get into this character. So you're kind of like, you can't help who you are. You just kind of died one day and woke up as this creature, and now you're being hunted and you don't know why. And all you want to do is have a happy afterlife and eat a bunch of hot dogs out of a vendor cart. But these people are chasing you around with these wiggly laser packs.
I'm the baby from Two Famous People back in the 80s.
Oh God.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I can totally get into that character. I can totally get into that character.
And that was for you, Dan and Kelly, for the Ghostbuster reference. I hope All right, guys. I appreciate the conversation. Anything else y'all want to pimp out, sell out, beg? It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. Aegon, you're first this time.
Well, we already pimped that out. So let's put out our amazing sponsor for our Roll Society, World Amble, because we love them. They are amazing. They are an incredible resource for all the role players out there, or writers as well. It's a great for world building for writers, laying out their books and everything. Artists, map makers,
voice actors.
Voice actors.
Everything.
Everything. But it's a great site where you can throw all those ideas in your head into one place and keep it organized. And they keep opening more and more new features to almost weekly, it seems, at this point right now, to keep it active and fun. So check it out. It is free to use. There are subscription packages as well, which basically give you more space, more access to certain things, but it is free to basically use the majority of it. So check it out.
I think what he's trying to say is World Anvil has everything you need to start creating a story or world, and you can get started for free right away at www.worldanvil.com.
That's right.
That wasn't shrill enough. Again. You have anything else, David?
I just want to reiterate stop by the Roll Society, join our Discord, watch our streams. We're a very inclusive community. We love new people. We celebrate you. We cheer your arrival, and we weep at your departure. So please stop by, take part. We would love to have more people in the community taking part and being nerds with us.
Yeah, we would love more players. We definitely would love more GMs, other time slots. If we could give Eurocentric time games to keep the channel, going day and night, it would be amazing.
Eventually, we'll be 24/7.
Yeah, so if you have a group in the UK or somewhere on the opposite time zones as us that you play online with and would like to join us and move your game to play with us through our channel, we would love it. We'd love to have your community be part of our community. And
one of us.
You want the communities to touch?
Yes. What communities to touch?
That's how STIs are spread, sir.
All I've got to
Sexually
say,
transmitted initiatives.
All I've got to say is we are the big anal. Okay.
The big anal. And with that, I thank you, anybody and everybody that's watching. All the information for everything they just shouted out is down below. Thank you, Wooley, for doing everything you do, man. And we'll see you next week. Next week, I'm trying to find a Mixer streamer and a Twitch streamer to have a conversation about the effects that streaming has on today's society.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
Oh.
So until then, have a good day.
All right.
All right.
Since you assholes actually hurt my feelings for once and didn't watch the fucking podcast.
I watched some of it. I have a very bad attention span.
Yeah, David's the type of person that Vine was invented for.
I promised you I'd get some anal in there, and I did right at the end.
Told you I was gonna get some anal in there. End scene.